မ်ဘီယာနိုင်ငံနဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံတို့၏အမှုနှင့်ပတ်သက်ပြီးကြားနာပွဲကိုဇန်နဝါရီလ12ရက်နေ့မှ29ရက်နေ့အထိနယ်သာလန်နိုင်ငံဒီဟိတ်မြို့ရှိအပြည်ပြည်ဆိုင်ရာတရားရုံးမှပြုလုပ်လျက်ရှိရာအဆိုပါကြားနာပွဲသို့နိုင်ငံတော်သမ္မတရုံးဝန်ကြီးဌာနနှင့်ပြည်ထောင်စုဝန်ကြီးဦးကိုကိုလိုင်းနှင့်ဥပဒေရေးဝန်ကြီးဌာနပြည်ထောင်စုဝန်ကြီးနှင့်ပြည်ထောင်စုရှေ့နေချုပ်ဒေါက်တာသီတာဦးတို့ဦးဆောင်တဲ့မြန်မာကိုယ်စားလှယ်အဖွဲ့တက်ရောက်လျက်ရှိပါတယ်အပြည်ပြည်ဆိုင်ရာတရားရုံး ICJ မှာဂမ်ဘီယာနဲ့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံအကြားတရားရင်ဆိုင်နေမှုနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးအမေရိကန်နိုင်ငံသားစာရေးဆရာမစ္စတာ Rich Heisman ကအခုလိုပဲပြောကြားထားပါတယ်ရှင်
Hello, my name is Richard Heisman, American citizen from San Francisco, USA. And now I live here in Myanmar. I've been here many times starting 1981. All the way back then. And I've been in Arakan, Rakhine State, many times, starting 1996. Okay, I'm going to talk about the conflict there between the Rakhine Buddhists and the Bengali Muslim Rohingya people. One thing to note here is that this conflict has been going on for a very long time, basically since World War II era. And more recently, there's been 3 major attacks by the Bengali Muslim Rohingya in 2012, 2016, and then only 10 months after that, 2017. The 2017 attack was quite amazing in that it was what should be called the world's largest terrorist attack in history. At that time, August 25th, 2017, surprise attack in the early morning started against almost 150 targets. These were villages and army bases. There were about 30 army bases attacked, police outposts, army bases, and then also about 80 or so villages attacked that very morning. And some other villages were attacked the next day because they didn't get the message quick enough the night before. The reason why it should be noted as the world's largest terrorist attack is that the numbers are staggering. There were 150 or so targets attacked, each by hundreds of organized Rohingya men and boys. And they did not have sophisticated weapons. Some did have assault rifles, but most of the weaponry was clubs and knives and machete type instruments. It was all done by surprise, and if you think about it, you think about 911 in New York when that terrorist act happened. That was considered very big because it was like 19 hijackers, 5 different targets, etc. But this was 150 or 160 or so targets, and actually about 100,000 or so assailants against all these targets, and many villages were affected, attacked. People were killed by the Muslims, hacked to death usually by long knives. Some were shot, and then for about 2 weeks. It was a very tense situation as the Muslims were continuing to attack and burn villages and so on. The army, the Burmese army called the Tatmadaw, had to interfere, of course, as the army of any country would have to do. All countries have a force that is meant to repel invaders and bring, stop the violence that's happening. Well, here you had Tatmadaw going in to chase the rebels out or eliminate them. It was against the army action was against the Bengali Muslim Rohingya people. And that took a couple weeks to do. Now, this similar type of attack happened in 2012 as well as 2016. All 3 of these incidents, clearly, if you look at all the facts, were started by the Muslims and perpetrated. They had plans that they had made using the mosque as their headquarters. The mosque in the villages was very responsible for the brainwashing that happened against the people. We have collected many interviews and statements from prisoners, Muslim prisoners who were caught and debriefed and so on. And they all state that their mosque and their Malawi is the Islamic holy man, the Malawis brainwashed and indoctrinated the people to carry out the attacks with the goal was clearly to take over, to expel all Buddhists, all Hindus, the Hindu minority there as well, and other tribal people, expel all non-Muslims. So many interviews had the prisoners or the interviewees said this, so that you had in the mosque, you had the leaders of the mosque teaching people about the goals. The goal was to eliminate all and then have that land break off from Burma or Myanmar, break off and become an autonomous state, Islamic state, Sharia law. That's what they wanted, and that's what they say they wanted. A couple things leading to this. Just before the 2017 attack on August 25th, just before that, the leader of ARSA, and ARSA is the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army, terrorist group of Bengali Muslim Rohingya people. Just before that, the leader had his phone tapped and he did not know. Atta Ullah was the leader of ARSA. And there were 3 important phone calls that just happened the day before the attacks. 2 of them were to a Pakistan general, and 1 of them was to an ISIS commander in Syria. These were incoming calls from them to the leader. And the messages translated were such like, congratulations in advance on your attacks. The Pakistan general wanted the attacks moved up. They had been planned for like maybe a week later, but he said, we have to attack tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And so the plans actually were to have even more targets, but the plans were changed when the leader became afraid of defectors and so on, giving information about this and preventing it. All of this action had genocidal intent. This is a very important phrase, genocidal intent. That means the intention of committing genocide. The Bengali Muslim Rohingya people wanted to commit a genocide against the people, the non-Muslims in that area, but they failed, and so we can call it genocidal intent. Now, we know that the Bengali Muslim Rohingya are saying that they are the target of genocidal intent, but that is not true. If you look at all of the evidence that exists, and I have a lot of it, they had, the Bengalis claimed genocidal intent against them, but there was no genocidal intent. If the Burmese army, the Tatmadaw, wanted to commit a genocide, it easily could. It could drive all those people across the border and or kill them all or something. It could do that, but it didn't. It was doing the kind of police work that any country has to do when somebody invades like that. More about global genocidal intent soon. Let's see. Okay, now we should look at the history of, briefly look at the history behind this. Let me get one paper here. Okay, so the history there, back in 1942 during World War II, there was a big massacre, the Mongda Butitang massacre. And that is when many Buddhists were killed. Maybe 30,000 Buddhists were killed. 100,000